Hello, everybody, Guilty here, and welcome to my review of the Transformers Studio Series Movie 1, Megatron, and he's big, yeah, he's big. I'm not even gonna try and let him spin on this base because he's a big boy. So, without further ado, let's get in on the review, starting off with the packaging. Alright, so here is our packaging. It's standard Studio Series packaging. We have a cool picture of Megatron, which, bear with me for a second, this Megatron is actually the concept art Megatron with the new head sculpt on it, because when they first revealed Megatron's design, everybody kind of hated it. I don't know how I would consider myself. I don't remember it that well. It was weird. It was a really weird head design, but they revised it, and I definitely like this one more. But yeah, they just photoshopped the new head on the concept art body, and I don't really like it. I kind of wish they had picked a different picture, but hey, it's the one we got. Megatron Studio Series Transformers on the side, nice picture of Megatron on the back. You have your obligatory product shot. See, he looked more similar to that. He was more fat in the movie. Like this looks super skinny and lanky and honestly pretty ugly, but this is how he looked more in the movie. He had that more kind of chunky nature to him. He was a bit bigger, a little bit fatter, I guess. But yeah, then you have the little display base right there, 21 steps on the other side, nice picture of his mug right there, which looks way better since you don't actually see the body. 54 Studio Series, and that'll do it for the packaging. And here is Megatron in his Cybertronian Jet Mode, and I'm sure you're all curious. I am a huge fan of this movie, clearly, so what is my thoughts on this Jet Mode? Because this is a widely debated topic. A lot of people are split with it. Is it cool? Is it not cool? It's weird. It certainly is weird. It definitely caught me off guard, but honestly, I don't mind it, because Megatron never really does ever try to actually use his alt mode as a disguise, so I think it works for Megatron. I mean, for any other character, I don't think it would work, but for Megatron and Shockwave is the other one, they never really look like anything real, so I think it works. I personally do like it. It's not my favorite movie alt mode, but I do like it, and it is impressive in toy form. I mean, this thing is big, and by far the best compliment I will give this figure. Not that this is a bad figure, this is a great figure. I forgot, I know I usually give that little mini review at the beginning there. I'm like, here he is, and he is so-and-so. I totally forgot this time, but he is, yeah, this is an awesome figure. I do really like it. It's not perfect, and I do think it could have been better, and I'll talk about that in depth, but the paint is immaculate, man. I love this silver. I mean, look at it. It just pops on the shelf, especially when you compare it to the Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. Like, this thing just pops on the shelf, and it looks so much better. And yeah, I mean, it's beautifully done. I absolutely love how they've done it, and it's big. Like, this is a big jet, and this one does actually hold together quite a lot better than the Revenge of the Fallen one. The Revenge of the Fallen one like to fall apart really easily, because these pieces on the side here just tabbed into a little tab right there, and they could constantly just unpeg just like that, so it wasn't really fun to handle. But this guy, he holds together. This piece right here does kind of do that, but it does hold together a lot better. Like, the wings don't come detached right here. And once you get everything locked in place, there is quite a bit of locking in place with this mode, which I'll show off, which I'll obviously show off in the reverse transformation segment. But overall, I think they did a really good job with the Jet Mode. Now, personally, what I like to do with the Jet Mode is these right here are his arms, and the hands flip out here, and I actually prefer to leave the hands flipped out because it makes them longer, and I think that's more movie accurate. I think this is about the length that they were in the movie, so I personally like to leave the hands out, and I mean, it doesn't make it look any weirder than it already looked, so yeah, I mean, you can barely even notice that they really look like hands. They honestly kind of look like laser cannons, and in the Transformers video game, the Nintendo game, the DS one at least, these were actually guns, so that's kind of fun for me because I loved that game as a kid. But yeah, really cool alt mode. I do really like it, and I mean, between this one and the Revenge of the Fallen, I have to be honest, I'm always more partial to Tank Megatron. I just think it makes more sense. He's been a Jet very many times. He was a Jet in Prime, which is my favorite Transformers media, as you all know. And he was a Jet in a couple of things. He was a Jet in Animated. He was a Jet in Cybertron. He was a Jet in Energon. So yeah, I'm not opposed to him being a Jet, but I really like the idea of Megatron being a tank. So alt mode wise, I like the Revenge of the Fallen one more, but overall, in every other way, I prefer the new one. The paint job, the way the robot mode looks, everything. This one definitely wins overall. But before we continue with our comparisons, I do want to say one thing. He doesn't have any landing gear, which I actually really wish he did, because you kind of just have to sit him down on the chest piece right there, and I'm honestly worried that it might scratch off some paint after a while, so I plan to never let that happen. I plan to just leave him in the air on the stand that I have right here. This is one of my, I don't remember exactly what stand this was. I think it might have came with the NECA Alien Queen, but yeah, I just like to put him on this stand right here, and that's how I've had him when I've displayed him in vehicle mode, because it keeps the chest from rubbing on the bottom and scraping off that gorgeous paint. So that's one thing I wanted to say. And the other thing is, we do get an accessory with Megatron. We get his flail mace arm thing, and this is one of my issues with this figure. I don't really like this accessory, not because this accessory is bad, and it actually is pretty cool, and you can get some cool poses out of it, but I feel like there was a missed opportunity here to not give him his cannon. I really would have preferred the cannon over this, and honestly, if to give him the cannon, he had to be a leader class price, fine. That's fine. Maybe throw some extra stuff in there as well. I don't know, maybe some ripped in half jazz pieces would have been kind of cool. I mean, something, but I would have preferred the cannon. I certainly would have preferred the cannon. I actually didn't even notice until one of my more recent viewings of the movie that the cannon is actually just a gun. In the scene that he shoots Jazz, right before, brutally murders him, he actually has the cannon in just his hand. It's just a normal cannon, and you can see it on the Masterpiece Megatron figure. So, yeah, I kind of wish they just give him the cannon, and maybe it worked in some way for you to, like, combine his hands together, and you can get, like, the huge fusion cannon out of it like he did in the movie, but this is a neat accessory. I mean, it could have been included alongside as well. Also, I kind of wish that it wasn't, like, rigid, because it is rigid, and when you use it, it kind of looks ridiculous, because it just always looks like it's completely extended, and you can't really actually, like, flail it around or anything. You can store it in the vehicle mode, you can peg it into that little peg right there, but it looks so stupid. Like, what is the point of this? Like, what is the point of this? This looks so stupid, so you can do it if you want, but I don't want. But that's just about everything to talk about in vehicle mode. Now for comparisons. Dude, he is so big. I'm sorry, but I can't get him on frame all the way. I remember, you wanna know the funniest thing? When I was a kid and I had my leader class Megatron figure of the same design, I did have the leader class figure. I actually made a review of that figure. I have no idea what happened to it. It's on a tape somewhere in my parents' house. If I ever find it, I will totally do something special and, like, show that from, like, I don't know, it was like 10 years ago or something. And I remember recording that video and never being able to get him in frame, because he was so damn big. So, the memories, it brings back the memories. But, let's bring in the Revenge of the Fallen Megatron one last time here, so you can see how they look together. And, yeah, there you go. I'm not gonna repeat what I already said. I prefer this one, but there you go. There you have them together. And, let's bring him in. We got Starscream. We got Brawl, who is still my favorite Studio Series figure, and we've got Bone Crusher. So there we go. Let me get the stand for Megatron. And there we go. Oh my god, they look so good together. I can't wait to get the last two. So we just need Barricade, and we need Blackout. Now, I do actually have the movie Masterpiece Barricade, as you all know, but he doesn't scale with these guys. He actually does work kind of for me. I don't know. I'll talk about that more in the robot mode comparisons, because I'm not transforming him for this comparison. I'm sorry, but I'm not. I hate transforming that figure, which is the only reason you haven't seen a review of it yet. But I will get to Studio Series 1 eventually. It will come eventually. I've already secured it. It just has to get to me. But yeah, we're two away, and then the other one is Blackout, which that one might still be a while, because I really don't want to pay the ungodly amount that people ask for Blackout. But there you go. They look so good together, man. They are so cool. And for a couple other comparisons, here he is with Shatter, so you can see how they look together, which I guess he would probably be the Megatron you display along with the Bumblebee movie Decepticons, because most likely he probably had that form if they were to be there, because, this happened right at the end of that, which is why Megatron wasn't in the Bumblebee movie, because he had already taken off and to get the Allspark. But yeah, I'd assume this is probably your best bet for a Bumblebee movie Megatron, even though he wasn't in there. And here he is with Soundwave, just so you can get a basic sense of how he scales with a standard car bot, so there you have that. And last but not least, here he is with Sentinel Prime. And all I'll say right here is, if you guys are mad that I still don't have an Optimus Prime Studio Series figure, you might want to stay tuned. That's all I'm gonna say. Alrighty, now for transformation, which is overall pretty fun. I do overall enjoy it, and it does some pretty cool tricks. So, alright, let's get into this. So first thing you want to do is you want to detach everything going on here. You want to detach this piece down here, and then you want to swivel the entire wing like upside down like that, and you want to come down here, and you want to get this little piece right there, and you just want to get that out of its little slot right there, and then also in there, I apologize, but the lighting is kind of hard there. You can see that little pillar, that little gray pillar, it clips into a little tab down there, and you want to pull that out as well, and all that's untabbed, and then just come back here, make sure that's untabbed, and I guess you can move it forward just to make sure, and that will allow you to move this entire assembly back, and this is going to be the legs, and you want to do the same thing for the other side here, so just untab it right there, untab everything right there, and then just fold these down. Alright, now for the legs, which is, oh boy, we're going to talk about the legs in depth in this review, that's all I'll say for now, but the way the legs transform, this is a really cool trick. Basically, you're just going to fold the legs up and stuff it in the thighs. That's exactly what you're going to do here. So come down here. This is the part I don't like because these pieces like to pop off a lot. But what I do is I just like push it together just like this so it won't pop off. Unpeg it here and then swivel it around and just keep it holded together so it won't pop off, and then you should be fine to go. But once you've done that, fold it in and then just like lay it like that, and then fold that piece in and literally just collapse the whole thing up. Just fold the entire wing up and do a little package right there. And then what you're going to do is kind of angle it this way, which will give you clearance to swing it in, and then you can just stuff it into the thighs right there. And yeah, it just folds up into the thigh. The whole wing just goes and then stuffs up into the thigh, which is a really cool trick, but it does have some effects on the robot mode, which we will talk about in depth. But what you want to do to finish it off is there's a little tab on the little fin piece right here. That little tab is going to go into that notch right there, or that slot right there, and then you just want to get that in there and just tab that in. It might give you a hard time because it's kind of difficult to do, but there you go. Once you get it in, it stays pretty good. And then you can just bring the heel spur down and bring out the feet, and then you have a leg all done. Same thing on the other side here. So once again, come here, and I'm telling you, it's really easy to just grab this and just unpeg it and then just swivel that around just so it doesn't pop off, because just to show you, these things pop off like nobody's business. They love to pop off. They absolutely love to pop off. So just do that and then fold it around just like that. Once again, fold that piece in, and then once again just fold the entire thing up and bring it in just like that. Angle it in so you can get that clearance to move it in there, and then just kind of stuff it in there. Bring this piece back and tab that tab into right there. Bring the heel spur back, and there you have the legs all done. And you're done. No, I'm just kidding. Yep, that's Megatron. Alrighty, so moving up to the top here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna come back here and you want to bring this entire like pillar thing down, like this fucking, I mean, this looks like a building from like Lord of the Rings or something. And you just want to take this entire piece and you just want to push this down, and this entire piece will fold back. Now this part right here, oh, I forgot about this part. Okay, alright, so this part right here is super weird. So what you want to do here is you want to take the head and you want to angle it this way, and that's going to give you clearance to swing this piece out, and then at that point you can just kind of pop the head out and bring that up. But you have to do it in that order because you don't have clearance to do it any other way. You have to kind of move the head out of the way to get one of the arms out first, which is weird, and it's even weirder when you go back into jet mode. But once you get that done, this is pretty cool here. So what you're going to do is you're going to come down here, and this piece is on like a little like shifty mechanism dealio, like you can see that little track right there, and this thing is just going to go on that track, and then it will just hook into that little tab right up there, and you will feel kind of a click. You will kind of feel a little clip right there, so they stay in very nicely. Then you can flip out the hand, and you got an arm all done. Do the same thing on the other side. Fold this up on this little track here, get that clip, and then bring out the hand, bring it down. And now for my absolute favorite part of this transformation. Check this out. This is so cool. This entire nose cone literally just folds up into the chest, right into the back here, and then you just bring this up and you take the tabs right here on either side of the chest, and you got to get all this ready to go, and then these just tab in to two little slots on the backpack. So you can see there's a little slot on the backpack. I apologize for the lighting, but there's a little slot right there on the backpack, and then you can just tab that into place, and boom, there you have that. Bring the head down, which is giving me a hard time. Oh, because of the nose cone. And why are you doing that? There we go. And there you have Megatron in his robot mode. And yeah, his legs are freaking huge. Look at this. It's just like, boom. They're freaking ginormous, dude. But it honestly is probably the thing about this figure that bothers me the most. It doesn't kill it. I love this figure. I do love this figure. But good God, what I would have done for these legs to not be the size of oh my God, these things are fucking gigantic. Like, look at these things. The whole wing just stuffs into it, and it's crazy. Like, they are so freaking big, and I mean, it looks good. It looks really good. And that silver paint job, I mean, just look at it. It just pops. It's such a beautifully done figure. And I mean, we gotta talk about this head sculpt. Oh my God, this head sculpt makes me so happy. It is pretty much a dead-on representation of Megatron. I don't think they could have got this any better than they did. I mean, look at that. Look at the red eyes in there. I apologize for the focus there. There we go. Just look at it. It's absolutely incredible. And honestly, it looks 10 times better IRL. This head sculpt is just incredible. And it blows the Revenge of the Fallen one out of the water, man. Just look at that. We'll get in close on those when we get to the comparisons. But one thing about this guy that is kind of interesting to note is the torso is the same torso from the Revenge of the Fallen Megatron, which is kind of funny. But I mean, it looks so much better when it's actually painted silver like it's supposed to. And I really like this. That's something I remember from the leader class figure. This design right here on the shoulder pads right there. Oh, this fucking camera focus. On the shoulder pads here, it has this kind of like weird cool design here. I always remember that from the old leader class figure, which by the way was a good figure if I didn't say so already. That leader class figure was great. I loved that thing as a kid. I have no idea what happened to it. I know I didn't sell it because I loved that thing, but yeah, really, really, really awesomely done. And I mean, he just overall looks fantastic, but the legs are so big. I mean, look at them. Now, we're going to talk about one of the best things about this figure now because it's so amazing. The articulation on this guy, not so much in the upper body here, but the leg articulation is incredible, and you can pull off some insane things with this guy, like showing you this right here. I know we're not in the articulation segment right now, but look at this. The feet, the legs can go all the way back like that, so he can actually like kneel down right there because his legs are so big. It actually works. Like, he can actually like totally like kneel down right there. And the other thing about this is the feet. The feet are insane because the feet have this really cool design to them where it has this extra little tab right there, and that is kind of your main focus here. Honestly, this heel spur segment doesn't do much, and you can actually do some insane stuff because of this tab. And one thing I found that you can do, well, I didn't find, I saw it on other videos, is you can get this guy balanced on those little tabs, and he can be like angled forward. Like, look at that shit.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Like, what? How? This is like, it's like out of the realm. Look at that shit. That is just crazy cool, man. And I mean, if you need more stability, you literally just pull those pieces down, and he's like impossible to knock over. Look at that shit. What on earth? Look how far he's leaning, and he's still, that's like, wow, that's crazy, man. That is just crazy. You can seriously land some pretty insane poses out of this guy. But most of the time, my problem here is because of these enormous legs, under like no circumstances when you have this guy just standing in a neutral pose, does he look right. He never looks right. He looks like he's like leaning back because his legs are so freaking huge. Look at that shit. Okay, so if you do that, you gotta get him angled forward, and then he looks good. But still, I mean, from like most angles, he looks really weird when you just have him standing up because he's like 90% legs. He's freaking gigantic. So yeah, there you have the robot mode. I think it's absolutely awesome. For the whip thing, this is pretty darn cool. I do actually like how this integrates. You just flip in the hand, and then you have a little slot right there where you just slot in the whip there, and boom, there you go. You can go like, I do like it actually. I've actually got some pretty neat little poses out of him like this. It is a pretty cool accessory, and I do like it. I would have preferred the cannon or both, but still, I mean, it's a nice accessory. I do like it, and hey, you get something at least. At least you get something with him. But I mean, I would definitely take that over. I would definitely take that over that. And I have to be honest, while I have Revenge of the Fallen Megatron in here, we'll just show them together real quick. And I'm going to be straight up with you. Figure-wise, honestly, well, actually, okay, so I prefer the Revenge of the Fallen design. I like the alt mode more. I prefer the actual look of it more. But the silver paint job 100% blows anything else that this guy had going for him out of the water. He looks like dog shit on the shelf compared to this guy. This guy looks like a premium grade toy compared to this guy. So while there is no competition here, this is the better figure. I actually wish, I really hope that Hasbro will give us a new one of this in this color scheme. And I'm not talking about that one that they made with the battle damage head and the weird paint job, because that wasn't right. That looked horrible. I hated that. He had so many different colors going on. This is how he looked in the movie. This is how he should look. And if they re-release this one with this paint job, that will be the definitive movie Megatron figure right there. That would be like my dream Megatron figure. So Hasbro, please do that. Please. It would be my dream Megatron figure if you would do that. I would absolutely love that. At the moment, this is definitely the best choice, but I don't have the Dark of the Moon one just yet. I will get it eventually, but I don't have it yet. So far, this is the definitive one, but man, I really wish we could get just this figure with this paint job. It would be just absolutely perfect. And I mean, the head sculpt as well, they don't hold a candle. I mean, look at these head sculpts, man. They are just, like, this one wasn't bad, but when you compare it to that one, like, what? It's night and day. They look, like, this guy is just nothing compared to this paint job, man. It destroys everything. Another thing that I do prefer about the Revenge of the Fallen design is it just looks more Megatron-y to me, because he has the cannon, he's a tank, it's just a more Megatron-y design, which is why I like this design more than this one, but figure-wise, there's no question about it, this one is better, 100%. And for articulation, I know we kind of already went over it, but he has a ball joint at the head. He can look all the way up. He can actually do pretty much anything. He can, really good range of movement at the head. He also has this little joint inward, so he can totally, you can make use of that if you want to. It looks stupid, but you can if you want. Arms can do a full 360. They can go out that far, which is where he can be all like, hey girl. The elbows can do a 90-degree bend. I thoroughly apologize for that. You can do 90-degree bend at the elbow. No wrist swivel, but you can move them in and out if that's helpful for you at all. I do wish he had a wrist swivel. And also one thing that I completely never pointed out in the Revenge of the Fallen Megatron review, Revenge of the Fallen Megatron has finger articulation, and it really does allow you to get some cool poses out of it. So I kind of wish he had got that finger articulation too. I kind of wish they had carried that over, because that finger articulation is one of the few things that figure does have over this one. But the legs can go forward that far, back that far, and then like I said, actually, you cannot really go back that far. Oh, there you go. It's just some kind of like locking point in there, some kind of like soft ratchet or something that kind of, just a little bit difficult, or maybe it was just paint stuck or something, I don't know. Knees can bend almost like, Jesus Christ, those knees are freaking huge. Look at this. Look at that freaking, look at he's just got like these giant cavities in his knees when you bend them. That's just insane. And then the feet do have ankle pivot as well, which is one thing I never said. Yes, ankle pivot. Y'all know what yeah, blah, blah, blah. Y'all know how much I love my ankle pivot. But yes, feet have ankle pivot. Like, the feet can go up that far, down that far, and the heels, they can obviously move up and down. And of course, you have that tab thing, so you can do the absolutely insane leaning poses, and it's just ridiculous. Like how? But there you have the articulation. Now for comparison, and let's bring them in. We got Starscream, we got Brawl, who was still my favorite, and we got the Crusher of Bones. And there we go, there's our movie. One Decepticon so far, but, go ahead and grab my movie masterpiece Barricade here, and we'll stick him right there, and boom! There we go. All I need is blackout now. And I know, Barricade doesn't work, but honestly, I honestly like the way he looks with the rest of these. I never really thought he was all that small. I don't really know how I feel about the Studio Series scale when it comes to the deluxe class figures, because like Soundwave here, that doesn't look right to me at all. I mean, that scene in Dark of the Moon when he's talking to him in that little desert hideout area, he does not look that scale to me. He looks like he's way bigger, and I think Barricade is probably in that same dealio, but this movie masterpiece, while it's definitely not in scale, it works for me. I actually think he looks really good with the rest of these. I mean, this team looks amazing. All I need is blackout, man. All I need is blackout. And once again, I do need the Studio Series Barricade, which I will get eventually, but I need blackout, man. I really need blackout. But yeah, they look absolutely incredible together. Like, holy shit, these guys look absolutely amazing together. And one last time, here he is with the Revenge of the Fallen Voyager Megatron. There you have that. So there's the first two movie Megatron designs. The Studio Series does have the Dark of the Moon design. I will pick it up eventually. Just want to get some others first, like Barricade, not Barricade, like Blackout. Well, Barricade too, but Blackout. But yeah, I do definitely want it. It looks like an amazing figure. I'm definitely going to get it at some point. But there you have that. And here he is with Soundwave. And we'll go ahead and just bring in Shatter too, just so you can see how he looks with some deluxe scale figures right there. So yeah, there he is. That's how he scales with the deluxe class figures. Once again, this Megatron would definitely be the one you'd want to pair with your Shatter, because I definitely think that's probably the look he had in the same kind of relevance as the Bumblebee movie. So there you have that. Did you guys actually know that Soundwave was originally going to be Barricade in the movie? He wasn't going to be like Barricade as in he was Barricade, but he was going to be the Decepticon in place of Barricade in the first movie. He was going to be the Saline Mustang, and he was going to, everything that Barricade did, he was going to do, which is why Frenzy shoots out of Barricade's chest. Just a fun little thing, if you didn't know that. Yeah, I don't know why they decided to replace him. I think it probably would have actually been better if they had Soundwave in there, because he's such a beloved character, but I think it's cool that they did that. And I mean, Barricade is awesome, so at least we got an awesome character out of it. And I mean, did anybody know who Barricade was in G1? I don't think so. I don't even know what he looked like. But here he is with Sentinel Prime for one last Studio Series comparison right there. And they look good together. I really like the way these two look together. Obviously, this design never appeared with Sentinel Prime, but they still look good together. And once again, if you're mad at me for not buying an Optimus Prime yet, stay tuned. But yeah, they look good together. And last but not least, here he is with the old leader class Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. Yeah, oh man, how times have changed. Woo! Yes, you are, my friends. Alrighty, now for reverse transformation. Not looking forward to this. I mean, it's not a not fun reverse transformation, but let's just get into it. So flip in the hands. Obviously, I probably wouldn't for most of it because I like the hands flipped out, but flip in the hands and then unpeg this piece right here. And you kind of just want to like bring it out and then just swivel it down right there. Just get it on that little track and do that. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that the arms are pushed all the way in, like that, just so that they will actually line up properly with everything when you get them into robot mode. And then you want to bring the backpack down just like this and bring these out. By the way, I forgot to say, top comment down below will have timestamps for you to skip transformations at your leisure. So those will be down there for you. But bring out this little piece here and just unpeg it like that. And this part right here is super, super weird. So what you want to do here is you want to bring the head around and you want to bring it backwards just like that. You want to have it like that. And then you want to bring these pieces in and you want to get them into this little area right here, and you want to get that entire thing into there and bring that in. You got to get it all under there into that little area right there, just so you have that going on. And then you want to push the head thoroughly in, and there you have that. It's bizarre, it's weird, but that's that. And we're just going to drop that down and leave that there for now. Come back to the legs, and we're just going to flip out the wings from these gigantic legs. Do this, and then just come here and just swivel this entire assembly out, just like that, and just unfold the wings, just like this, and bring that piece down. Now for this part, I absolutely hate this part. Bring this piece out, and then you want to pinch this so it doesn't fly off, and do that, and just kind of get it into that little peg right there, and there you go. There you have that. It was actually really easy that time around. And then do the same thing on the other side here. Fold this out, flip this out, and do that. Come down here and flip out this piece and come down here. And once again, pinch this so it doesn't unpeg and get that into that little slot there, and boom, there you have the wings all done. Alrighty, now you want to fold the entire leg up at this hinge right here, and you want to bring that up. You want to bring in the feet right there, and you want to bring all that down, and you want to get that tab right there into that slot right there in that little gray pillar, into that tab right there. On that, you can see those tabs right there. You want to get that into there. So bring that in and just peg that into place right there. And then you want to bring the wings around, and here we're going to go into here. So what you're going to do now is you want to take this piece, and you can see there's a little slot right there in this piece right here. I apologize for the focus there. It's kind of hard to see. That little slot right there in the back right there is where this little tab is gonna go right there. So you want to get that, and you just want to peg that into place and just get that in there, just like that. And that is what you're looking at, which is why you wanted those straight down in robot mode, so that these actually look proper when you have them like that. So you have that, and then you can bring the wing down here, and you want to get that into that little tab right there. So there's that little tab right there, and this piece will just hook into that, just like that, and there you have that all done. Now the last thing you want to do is you want to take the foot here and you want to bring it down into that little tab right there. There's a little slot in the foot and that'll tab right there, and it's a little bit difficult to do. Once you get it in there, it does stay pretty well. And there you have one side all done. Now you do the exact same thing on the other side. Bring this entire piece up, fold that in, and get that little segment right there, and peg that into that tab right there. Flip that in, peg that right there, fold that down. You want to fold the feet down, I forgot to mention as well, and then bring the wing around just like that, get this piece and tab it into this little slot right here, just like that, and then, you know, make sure that stays tabbed in right there. If it untabbed, just put it back in, and just take this piece of the wing and just get that into that little tab on the side there. It's a little bit difficult to do, but you just gotta kind of get it in there, and there you go. I don't know why this is giving me a hard time. But once you get all that locked in, you want to bring the fins back, and you want to just bring them out, because there's these little crevasses right there that these little tabs will kind of sit into, and then you can just peg that together in the back there, and there you have the back fin, just like that, and you are done. But like I said, I prefer to actually have the hands out, because I just think it just looks better. So there you have it. There you have your reverse transformation for the Movie 1 Studio Series Megatron. Overall fun. I don't love the transformation. I definitely like it more than the Revenge of the Fallen one, but just, yeah, there you go. That's it. Alrighty, now for our showcase. So, final verdict on the 2007 Voyager class Megatron. It was so close. It was so close to being the definitive, the one and only Megatron toy, the one that I had been waiting for so long. It was so close. That being said, he is so close, and I absolutely love this figure. He is definitely my favorite Megatron figure I own at the moment. I mean, the silver paint job alone makes this thing incredible. And like I said earlier, if they just re-release the Revenge of the Fallen Studio Series Megatron with this silver paint job, that will be the definitive Megatron figure. That will be the Megatron figure of my dreams. That is the perfect figure if they can just make it happen. But as it stands, I absolutely freaking love this thing. I think it's just absolutely awesome. Both modes look incredible, and one thing I never said in this video is that this is one of my favorite versions of Megatron, portrayed by Hugo Weaving, and I absolutely loved how he was utilized in the movie, which is something I hear a lot of people complain about in the movie, is how they handled Megatron. I think y'all are on codeine, man. I loved this Megatron. He was terrifying, he was ruthless, he was scary, just running around like, give me the cube, boy. It was so cool. And I mean, that first scene when he bursts out of the ice and just transforms into the jet and just goes blasts off down that huge tunnel. Every single second of Megatron screen time I thought was awesome. I thought they did him well, and I thought Hugo Weaving was an awesome Megatron. So this is one of my favorite versions of Megatron, up par with the Transformers Prime version of Megatron and the original G1 Megatron, which are, those are my absolute favorites. This one would probably be my third favorite. And I do like the design. The alt mode isn't my favorite, but I do still like it. And overall, it's so close to being that definitive Megatron figure. The only thing that holds it back are these legs of just the biggest legs I have ever seen in my life. Like, holy crap, they're gigantic. And this thing holds it back as well. Not because I hate this thing, I actually do like it, and it is a fun accessory to use and pose around with him, but if it came to this over the Cannon, I would have taken the Cannon any day. And if it meant they had to increase the price and make him a leader class, so be it. If that's the way it had to go, they could have totally made him a leader class and included a whole bunch of other stuff with it. Maybe that would have been a great way to give us Frenzy, because Frenzy doesn't come with Barricade. So how the hell are we gonna get a Frenzy? That sucks. Frenzy was freaking awesome in the movie. So how are they gonna give us Frenzy? I need a Frenzy for my display. So. Like, why? Why did they do this? I mean, they've already made a bunch of Voyager class figures, leader class figures in this Studio Series line. They did Shockwave. He's a Voyager class figure. That's a leader class figure. The Optimus Prime, the trailer one, that's a Voyager class figure that comes with a bunch of other stuff. And they've done it in the Earthrise line with the Optimus Prime and the Astro Train figure. So why not do it here? I mean, he's the leader of the Decepticons. Why not make him a leader class? I don't get it, man. They could have, this figure could have been perfect. And while I don't think they 100% dropped the ball, because he's still a phenomenal figure, he's just this close to being the perfect Megatron figure. And man, would I have loved him so much more if he was that. But as he stands now, he's absolutely awesome. He 100% has got my recommendation. It's an amazing figure. I definitely recommend him. And just like 90% of the other Studio Series figures I have reviewed, he is getting a 9 out of 10. He still has not topped Brawl, though. Brawl is still my favorite. Brawl is still the golden standard, but he was just so close. If they had just made him a leader class and included all those accessories, he could have been the one, but it's so close. But there you have it, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as more videos are to come on the Studio Series line. And this is DK Guillotine, signing out. Join them in extinction!